Russell Westbrook is living proof of how the vast majority of people in this world are really fake and how they can love you one day and turn around and hate you the next. See, I was never a Russell Westbrook fan, but I'm not about to kick a man while he's down or what we perceive to be down right now, you know, with the world piling up against him. I had a line in this old freestyle that I did years ago to Kendrick Lamar's song Element. I rapped over the instrumental where I said, the same hand they shake your hand with, they stab your back with, okay? Which correlates to what Russell Westbrook is going through in the situation with the Los Angeles Lakers. However this Russell Westbrook situation unfolds, which I'm assuming could potentially result into Russell Westbrook being traded, but I'm willing to bet the last piece of lint in my pocket that the masses will jump for joy and excitement that he's gone once he's gone. But once he does leave and the Lakers are still losing because they are not rectifying the root of the problem, which is LeBron James, I guarantee you that people will then forgive Russell Westbrook and will be back to praising him all over again. Now, as you guys can see in my most recent videos, I haven't jumped on the sheep's bandwagon and started to attack Russell Westbrook because I'm not surprised at all what's transpiring with Russell Westbrook. I'm not surprised at all what's transpiring with Russell Westbrook. As Skip Bayless has said, and which is quite obvious, LeBron James brought in Russell Westbrook to be his scapegoat. Look what the entire world and his minions and what his fanboys are doing in the media. All his fans, everybody is blaming Russell Westbrook. I pointed all these things out years before Russell Westbrook arrived. The excessive turnovers, his careless attitude, his poor decision making, his need to seek attention, his need to be in the spotlight, his inability to be a consistent three-point shooter, his ball dominance, lack of defense, just outright reckless, okay? But I've been saying this about Russell Westbrook for years and years before he was traded to the Lakers, but everybody said I was hating. The same thing they accused me of with LeBron James, but it's just very much warranted when it comes to LeBron James as well, because when you're a super fan, you're so in love with a player, you become biased. But fans are heavily swayed by these so-called sports analysts on TV like Shannon Sharp and Kendrick Perkins and Nick Wright of the world. But a lot of fans don't watch the full games. They just go based upon highlights or based upon what everybody else is saying. And a lot of people, if you watch these games, Russell Westbrook has bad games, but it's not to the extreme that they're taking it to. But truthfully speaking, Russell Westbrook numbers are still impressive. It's not like he's averaging 6 points a game. Westbrook is still averaging 19.6 per game. That's almost 20 points per game. 8 rebounds, 8 assists per game. And newsflash people, he's averaging 4.6 turnovers, which is his career average. So this contradicts what you say because you've been rooting for a guy who's pretty much doing the same thing he's been doing. So what does that say about you and your so-called basketball knowledge, which circles back to what I've been highlighting for years with Westbrook? This is who he is. His free throw percentage is the same. His percentage from the field hasn't changed. His three-point percentage is still the same. His numbers are somewhat similar to the numbers he had last season with the Wizards and in OKC, but it got glossed over. Why? By triple doubles. But the reason people are pointing the blame at Russell Westbrook because they're being told to. See, the narrative would have changed. See, now they're going to blame Russell Westbrook, but the narrative would have changed because, as you can see, now Shannon Sharp is apologizing to Kevin Durant for what he said, how his decision to leave Russell Westbrook, he had to endure playing with Russell Westbrook all those years. All those years, you know, we forgive you. And I'm a huge Kevin Durant fan, but, we forgive you now. You know, we called you a cupcake. You was weak for joining a team that defeated you for 73-9, blah, 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 right? Now, you want to apologize to Kevin Durant, right? But had Russell Westbrook came there and they won, you know what they would have said? LeBron James carried Russell Westbrook to the finals. He won with Russell Westbrook when Kevin Durant couldn't. You see how the media do? And if I were Russell Westbrook, I would continue to be unbothered as well because LeBron James asked me to come here. Why should I be apologetic? Y'all asked me to come. This is my game, and that's never going to change. This is who I've been the whole entire time. Y'all wasn't saying nothing when I was in Washington. Y'all wasn't saying nothing when I was in OKC, when I was with the Rockets. Y'all wasn't saying nothing then. Now all of a sudden, everybody is hating me. This is my game. When Russell Westbrook just did an interview, he said it's not normal to average 25, 5, and 5. He's right. It's not. He's a point guard. See, what happened is fans are so caught up in numbers, they don't even understand the game. Kyle Lowry right now is averaging about 13 points per game right now. But you know why nobody is squawking about it? Because they're winning. And you know why they're winning? because they play in a well-built system by Pat Riley where the offense isn't predicated and centered around one player. There's ball movement. They play as a team. LeBron James brings the ball up the floor and dribble the ball for most of the shot clock, waits for a screen and looking to create for himself. And if he can't create and get his own shot, he's going to try to kick to his shooters if the lane is clogged up. You've played basketball. You know this is an issue because the players that you're playing with, the shooters, they have to be in a rhythm. So sometimes they could get hot. Sometimes they could get cold. So if LeBron James passes the ball last minute, which is what he does, then guess what? You, the shooter, are going to get the blame if you miss it. And this is what happens in the fourth quarter. LeBron is afraid to go to that free throw line and he can't close games. So he's always looking to pass so he doesn't get the blame. If he loses, it's not LeBron James' fault. LeBron James is ball dominant. He can't play off the ball. Russell Westbrook is LeBron James Jr. and they play the exact same way. So if you ask me, until the Lakers trade LeBron James, who is truly the root of the problem, we'll never see any good results. But there's a bright spot. A small part of me think that Russell Westbrook can be fixed. It can be corrected. There's never no consequences for his actions. When Russell Westbrook makes a poor decision, he should be benched immediately, but they keep him in the game, which goes to show that you're rewarding him for his costly mistakes, which in his mind, he believes he's doing nothing wrong. So I believe what the Lakers need, they need the right coach to correct a lot of Russell Westbrook bad habits. But what is the solution? Because everybody is just at this point just pointing the finger at Russell Westbrook, and now it's people that don't even watch the game, or you got casual fans that just tune in for a Christmas game and say, oh yeah, y'all need to trade Russell Westbrook. But nobody is saying, hey, why LeBron James? We look at Steph Curry. He's without Klay Thompson, his second best star. Draymond Green is his second best player. He's carrying a team full of nobodies. Why nobody saying, oh, Steph Curry is carrying a team full of nobodies and still at the top of the West? Why LeBron James can't do that? When James Harden was out, Kyrie Irving, I mean, if you've been living under a rock, you would know he hasn't been playing. We see Kevin Durant carrying his team with no problem. He's at the top of the West, right? Why LeBron James can't do it? He has a second star in Russell Westbrook. If he make the players around him better, why are we blaming Russell Westbrook? LeBron James should be trying to make him better. That's what he does. That's what he do, right? But what is the solution? Y'all say trade Russell Westbrook, right? The solution is to just trade LeBron James. Why are you going to keep a 37-year-old? Why would you prioritize keeping a 37-year-old LeBron James? It doesn't make sense. You got 2 or 3 years left of LeBron James. This man's been getting injured. You're going to take a risk and move forward with LeBron James? It doesn't make sense. I would gut the entire team out, honestly. But me personally, I would keep Russell Westbrook and build around him and Anthony Davis. That to me is the ideal recipe for success. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe.